We're going to remove this cover on the top. How you do that is you need to slide it towards the front of the car and then just lift straight up. Next, what I'm going to do is real quick, we have this little hose right here. This is just like kind of a drain hose type thing. That you can just pull off. Here, we can come back here. There's a little tab. And if we just push this tab, just lift up, and you can see we basically just disconnected that from this plastic section here. Next, what you want to do is there's a hole. And if you look down into this hole, you're going to see a 10 millimeter, it's a reverse Torx. You need to take this bolt out in order to pull this cover up. So that bolt's going to come up. You can just kind of leave the bolt in there. You can basically take it out or do whatever, like when we pull this up. At this point, this front part, you should be able to just kind of wiggle it. What you want to do is lift up and then kind of push it forward and then just lift up again. You can see there's that bolt. It doesn't really come out, so that's what we were actually going for there.
Remove the cover.
If you look right here, and then down in the front right here, there's a bolt that we need to take off. It's a 8 millimeter and it's kind of a deep bolt there.
Using a magnet can help remove metal items from tight spaces.
Now at this point, this little section here should just lift up and out of here. So I think we just need to grab this section and kind of just pull on it. Get it up and out of here. Just be very careful. So it's a good idea to kind of, if you get this cover kind of up, you can basically take that whole section out. And then this section here, basically what you have to do is, this isn't really going to do too much, but the bracket itself is down here. So this is going to allow us access to the bracket.
Locate the bracket that holds down the battery. Loosen the bolt that holds the bracket in place.
These bolts are often corroded and difficult to remove. We strongly recommend wearing safety glasses and gloves when working with the battery.
And then once you have that, you can kind of just put that kind of just back down in there once you take the bolt off, and we should be good to go on that. This wire here kind of coming on, we want to disconnect this wire. It's going to make it a lot easier when we actually go to pull. And then there's one back here. Now, if you take this one off first, this is kind of the negative. This is a 13 mil right there, and just kind of take that off. And you can see this little guy here, we just want to kind of lift this up. And we're going to basically just try to get this kind of up and out of the way like that. This is actually all metal, so you can kind of just like bend it up out of the way like that. It's going to give us room to take the battery out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to loosen up the terminal nut, which is a 10 millimeter bolt on the back here. And we're going to take the negative terminal off. So now our negative terminal is off. And again, we can just kind of pop that off to the side. If you want to disconnect any wiring to make it easier, feel free. I don't think it'll really matter too much though. So now that we basically have the negative disconnected, what you're going to want to do is, here's the positive terminal, and we just want to disconnect it here first because this is just going to make it a little bit easier. So disconnect that. That's a 13 mil, and then we'll just pull that off. Basically, that's just kind of connected to this section. We actually want to remove the positive terminal here because it is connected. With these clips here, this part is going to come up with the positive terminal here. So what we want to do is kind of get over here on the sides and undo these clips, and then you can kind of just wiggle and lift up here on this guy. And what that's going to do is allow us to basically just get that out of the way now. And then our bracket is actually attached to this guy here. So once you kind of do that, we can basically just pull the battery out. We should have plenty of clearance to get this out of here.